You walk through your front door after a demanding day, expecting to finally exhale, but instead, your shoulders tighten. Your eyes dart from the stack of mail on the counter to the overflowing laundry basket, and then to the miscellaneous items occupying every flat surface. This is not just a messy room, but a relentless visual demand on your tired brain. Every single object in your line of sight is quietly asking you to make a decision, file it away, or clean it, creating a low-grade hum of anxiety that you might not even consciously register. That heavy, draining sensation is not a personal failure in time management or willpower. It is a documented biological response to a cluttered home. When your visual field is crowded with excess stimuli, your brain perceives it as unfinished business, which spikes cortisol levels and keeps your nervous system in a perpetual state of mild fight or flight. You are experiencing the exhausting reality of decision fatigue before you even attempt to cook dinner or relax for the evening. The conventional response is to buy more storage bins, reorganize the chaos, or dedicate a frantic weekend to shoving things into closets. But this merely hides the problem rather than solving it. Intentional decluttering is fundamentally different from physical tidiness or basic organization. It is a deliberate, analytical process of evaluating what truly belongs in your space based on the life you are actively trying to build, rather than the life you used to live or the one you feel obligated to maintain. Moving beyond physical tidiness means viewing your home not as a storage container for your past, but as a launch pad for your present. When you shift your perspective from asking how to store your belongings to asking why you own them in the first place, you begin a profound psychological shift. You are no longer just managing inventory. You are designing your daily experience and reclaiming your mental bandwidth. To begin this transformation, start with the most high-traffic area of your morning routine, like your bedroom closet or the bathroom counter. Pick up an item and ask yourself a highly specific question about its purpose. Does this object actively support the person I am today, or does it represent a version of myself I am holding on to out of guilt or habit? If an item does not serve your current reality, it is quietly stealing your focus. Apply the concept of the boundary limit to these critical daily spaces. A boundary limit means deciding in advance how much physical space a category of items is allowed to occupy, such as one single shelf for books or one drawer for active workout gear. Once that boundary is full, bringing a new item in requires letting an old item go. This constraint forces you to evaluate quality over quantity, naturally filtering out the mediocre items that dilute your daily experience. Once this boundary is set, the morning routine transforms completely. Instead of rummaging through dozens of mediocre options and suffering from choice paralysis, you are greeted only by items that fit, function, and flatter. The friction of getting ready disappears entirely. This leaves you with a surplus of cognitive energy to direct toward your actual goals for the day, rather than wasting it on deciding what to wear or searching for misplaced keys. This reclaimed energy is the exact definition of mental clarity. When your immediate environment is curated to support you, your brain no longer has to subconsciously process and filter out irrelevant data. You experience a sharper focus, a calmer demeanor, and a significantly higher capacity for complex problem solving because your working memory is no longer being taxed by the visual noise of your own living space. Yet the process of letting go often triggers a powerful, hidden resistance. You might find yourself staring at an expensive gadget you never use or a gift you never liked, paralyzed by the thought of wasted money or offending the giver. This is the sunk cost fallacy manifesting in your living room. The money is already gone, and keeping the item out of guilt does not refund your bank account. It only charges you an ongoing tax in the form of mental space and emotional weight. Releasing these items is an act of profound emotional liberation. When you donate the clothes that no longer fit or discard the hobby supplies for a project you abandoned 3 years ago, you are forgiving yourself for past misjudgments. You are giving yourself permission to change, evolve, and step fully into your current identity without the physical reminders of who you thought you should be dragging you down. Address the persistent, just-in-case items by using the 20-20 rule. If an item can be replaced for less than $20 and in under 20 minutes from your current location, let it go. You will find that you almost never need to repurchase these hypothetical lifesavers. Trusting your ability to handle future situations without hoarding physical safety nets is a massive step toward genuine self-reliance. As you systematically clear these pockets of resistance, mindful living naturally takes root in your daily habits. You stop operating on autopilot and start interacting with your environment deliberately. You notice the empty space on a shelf not as a void waiting to be filled, but as breathing room for your mind, a physical representation of the peace you are actively cultivating within yourself. The compound interest of this clear space pays dividends across every metric of your well-being, Without the constant visual reminder of chores, guilt, and unfinished projects, your baseline stress level plummets. You will find your evenings are actually restorative, your sleep quality improves, and your weekends are no longer hijacked by the exhausting obligation of managing an overwhelming inventory of possessions. This newfound clarity inevitably bleeds into your financial life and long-term wealth building. When you become acutely aware of the mental cost of managing physical objects, your desire to casually acquire more stuff drops dramatically. You start evaluating potential purchases not just by their price tag, but by the maintenance, storage, and mental energy they will demand from you over their entire lifespan. You can implement a mandatory cooling-off period for any non-essential purchase to solidify this financial optimization. If you see something you want, wait 48 hours before completing the transaction. In most cases, the impulsive dopamine urge will fade, and you will realize you prefer the peace of your uncluttered space and the security of your growing savings account far more than a fleeting consumer thrill. By breaking the cycle of unconscious consumption, you are redirecting capital away from depreciating physical assets that cause you stress and toward investments, experiences, and true financial freedom. The pathway to wealth is significantly accelerated when you stop bleeding cash into a home that is overflowing with items you barely even remember buying. The time you reclaim from this lifestyle shift is perhaps the most valuable asset of all. Think about the hours previously lost to searching for things, cleaning around clutter, and organizing items you do not even need. That is time you can now invest in a high-leverage side hustle, a dedicated fitness routine, or simply being fully present with your loved ones without the nagging feeling that you should be cleaning the garage. You are effectively buying back your own life. The realization that you control your environment, rather than letting your environment control you, is deeply empowering. You are no longer a victim of a chaotic household. You are the architect of a space that is meticulously engineered to facilitate your success, health, and happiness. As months turn into years, this intentional approach to your physical surroundings fosters a profound sense of inner stability. The world outside your front door will always be unpredictable, demanding, and chaotic. But when you cross your threshold, you are entering a sanctuary that reflects your core values, honors your current needs, and protects your energy from the relentless demands of modern life. This is how intentional decluttering creates mental clarity and reduces stress on a permanent basis. It is not a one-time cleaning event, but a continuous, mindful practice of protecting your boundaries. You learn to fiercely guard what you allow into your home, knowing that every object requires a fraction of your attention, and your attention is the most finite and precious resource you possess. Look at your surroundings right now and identify just one area that feels heavy or stagnant. It could be a single drawer, a specific corner of a room, or that one chair that constantly accumulates abandoned clothing. Commit to clearing just that one microenvironment today, applying the ruthless filter of whether those items actively serve your current life or drain your energy. Remove everything from that small space, clean the surface, and only put back the items that pass the test of utility or genuine joy. Box up the rest immediately and place it in your car to be donated. Do not let it sit in a hallway waiting for some perfect future moment to be dealt with, because delayed decisions simply become a new form of clutter that weighs on your mind. Once that single space is clear, pause and genuinely register how it makes you feel. Notice the subtle sigh of relief from your nervous system when your eyes rest on that clean, organized area. That small feeling of peace is the exact sensation you are working to scale across your entire living environment, one deliberate choice at a time. Exploring this pathway requires patience and self-compassion. You did not accumulate your possessions overnight, and you will not dismantle the emotional attachments to them in a single weekend. Treat the process as an ongoing experiment in self-discovery, where every item you choose to let go of teaches you something valuable about what you truly value and what you are finally ready to leave behind. You have the authority to curate your reality. By choosing to let go of the excess, the outdated, and the unnecessary, you are making room for absolute clarity, sharp focus, and profound peace. Your space is a direct reflection of your mind, and by intentionally clearing the physical noise, you are unlocking the freedom to design a life of true purpose, calm, and limitless potential.